Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new banner coming to the global side, which is Final Fantasy Type O. And you may be wondering, why Umbra? Don't you have better things to be doing? No, not really. Waiting for CG Lightning right now, so let's make a video about a banner that is both kind of interesting and kind of boring. And really, it depends on the rest of your account of whether and who you are and what you like for whether this banner is going to be super interesting. I should say that the Type O units have definitely had quite a few number of banners, so you might be a little bit tired of it, but hey, there might be actually something here that you should be considering for the future. So let's just talk about it, and I think we'll start about with the guy himself, and my least favorite character potentially in all of Final Fantasy history, Machina. Now, I'm sorry, Machina, and I'm sure that some people really like you, but I just do not. Machina is kind of a character that I found relentlessly annoying and pretty stupid in the actual game itself. Hey, look, I'm already talking up the banner, and we're only just getting started on this review. That's kind of interesting. But yes, Machina has never been exactly my favorite character, and it doesn't really continue in Type O. I've always considered his TMR to be just kind of weird. Come on, Machina, why are you crying? There's fireworks, for fuck's sakes. Anyway, Trust Mastery reward is basically kind of a auto-use self 1-2-3 turn power boost for different stats, as well as a 35% attack increase with the sword, 15% extra attack, and 10% HP with clothes. So, considering that a lot of units can use swords, it's a pretty solid materia, and it's kind of interesting. Basically, the auto-use ability gets used at the beginning of battle, and it's kind of just a good little thing to have for your characters if you know that you're going to get nuked right at the start. Being able to pre-buff is kind of a neat little thing, and it's still on essentially a 50% attack materia with 10% HP bonus. So yeah, it's a pretty okay materia. I think not... Well, there are some stronger ones in the future, but I digress. Super Trust Mastery is a sword, and not a bad sword either. 163 attack and dual wield, so it basically gives dual wield. Considering that, swords are one of the more equipable weapons by a lot of different characters, this opens up a lot of characters getting dual wield without having to waste a materia or an accessory slot, and so this is just a pretty strong TMR. I even put it on my top TMR list because, hey, if it's going to be a weapon that ends up on there, it's got to do something interesting. And thankfully, I do think that this Super TMR is interesting. So yeah, I think it's pretty strong. Now, Machina's kit, he is a dual wielder, and one that I've never quite found the greatest of uses for. When this banner came out, I was more on the other side, but we'll talk about the other character in a second. Really, when you look at Machina's kit, it's kind of weird. Limit Burst does have a big attack and magic debuff, and it's a 12-hit, physical attack that ignores 50% defense. So, it's a fairly good damage-dealing attack. He has natural dual wield in his kit. He has a chance to cause stop to enemies. He has some resistances, some debuffing skills. But in terms of damaging, looking at the entire breadth of his kit, he's pretty much kind of a debuffer with the Type O standards. Killing himself to get a full summon gauge, which is very Type O. I don't have a problem with that. Giving himself, some attack boosts. He has a few other abilities that are, somewhat interesting, but really his big thing is his 8-hit chaining attack, which comes in a 6-star and debuffs for fire, ice, and thunder. Given that he's dual wield, you can probably find a piece of equipment, a weapon of some kind, that has all of that. So my general feelings about Machina is that he's pretty good. but his kit is not super great, and even now, looking at Machina, even having his 7-star form, he's just not a unit that I particularly use, and I don't find him overly interesting. And with the dual wield thing on the sword, while it's very nice and it has a high attack and everything, the more I think about it, the more that it just seems like anything that's going to be dual wield in the future just naturally has dual wield. Take CG Lightning, or take Reagan, take, you know, these characters that just naturally have dual wield in their kit. And so, while not guaranteed, and I wouldn't say no to getting this Super TMR, I think that Machina is just kind of okay. And if you consider that if you can wait some more months, you're going to end up with, you know, Orin, or who knows what's going to show up at Christmas. This debuffer, I think, is, you know, a fair pass. Although some good TMR and Super TMR, and, you know, a decent enough kit. But when it comes right down to it, this is the unit that I think is super valuable. And for everybody complaining on the global side that you're not getting a 25k step up, I will say a small piece of something that I like about the 11k step ups is they are very focused on a specific character. The rates of getting that character are particularly, you know, better and improved, and it's a little bit cheaper. And I think that, you know, cheaper, not necessarily guaranteed, it definitely has its problems. But a higher rate to get a specific character seems generally good as the number of units in the pool expands. And considering that most people are on the global side are really unhappy with off-banner rainbows between Halloween and Valkyrie profile, I don't know, I actually like the rate ups for specific characters, because at least it feels like you have a better chance with it. But yes, Machina is not the one that I really like on this banner. It is definitely Kurasame. Now, Kurasame is a hybrid unit and has a absolutely amazingly nice. You know what? Let's wait for his animations. This is just something I really like. It has ice resistance on it, 50 MP, 40 attack and magic. It's, you know, any attack magic hybrids kind of perfect accessory, being perfectly balanced, giving some extra MP too, and 50% ice resistance. This is a great TMR. Absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite TMRs in the game, as a matter of fact, because it's just really nice. And of course, if I'm going to be talking about TMRs, we gotta talk about Super TMRs. And there is definitely a girl on the global side who is waiting for her 7-star who would love you to give her this Super TMR for Christmas, you guys. I, of course, am talking about Fravia. Fravia is one of my favorite GL characters, GL exclusives. Is that maybe for Christina? Both ice, huh? Or Christy? Crystal? Anyway, this sword is pretty much built. It just feels really well like the perfect thing to give Fravia. 130 attack, okay. 162 magic on a sword, though, is really just one of the best you can find in the game right now, even on the JP side, I think. I don't think there's much that even comes close. Maybe Beowulf. I believe Beowulf's greatsword, but I do believe that Fravia is quite into swords, and if not, you'll all correct me anyway, so it's perfectly fine. But it also has the ice element too, which Fravia is the ice element. Now, of course, Aurora Fravia is coming as a FanFest and to the Rare Gacha later, but I think that this is a big thing that Fravia is kind of wanting in her kit. So if you are a Fravia fan, I would definitely at least try a little bit to try and get a Kurasame collection going. Not only is Kurasame really cool, but is Super TMR, just for you global people, it's probably going to mean a lot. I mean, okay, I actually really want this thing too, but, where'd it go? Oh, I can't believe I've done this. I really want this Super TMR too, and we don't even have Fravia, so that tells you how good it is. But in general, like, this guy has some really nice balanced magic and attack stats. Into his kit, he has some, you know, ice spells too. His limit burst, we'll go back to the limit burst for a second. really quite awesome. You know, with the enhanced version of it is an AoE maxed out debuff of 100% for ice resistance. It's a 3000% AoE one-hit ice hybrid attack that gives him a 250% attack magic boost and gives him an ability for one turn, the use of 3 of his abilities one turn. So unlocks triple casting, and we all know that we love triple casting, don't we? He also has some ice magic spells. He can do ice hybrid attacks, he can do water hybrid attacks, which is kind of interesting. He can actually give an AoE buff to the party as well as AoE ice resistance. His hits are actually chaining abilities. They are 10 hits. And and they cause some status effects, which is kind of nice for Arena too, because they hit AoE. Both this ability as well as this ability have a chance to cause some status effects, so it's a pretty nasty little thing in Arena. But that's not the only thing. He actually does have a counter, which if your opponent hits you, he has the chance of doing a KO counter to your enemy, and that's just absolutely freaking cool. I really love that about him. He has some other hybrids attacks in his kit. He has debuffing of ice resistance for multiple turns. He has unlocking abilities. He has dual casting in his kit. He has double casting in his abilities. So you can build him as a true dual wield too. And when true dual wield magic comes to the global side, you can build him as a true dual wield hybrid, or a true dual wield. True dual hand hybrid unit. Oh, blah blah blah. I know you guys are going to correct me anyway. But he does have a potential future. He is a fairly strong hybrid user, mainly because he has a particularly good element to it. Equipping his own TMR gives him a pretty nice boost. He has a fair amount of passives in his kit. He still has the Type O kill himself to give a full summon gauge, which is very useful, especially, you know, for just a lot of reasons. His cooldown ability, super nice, giving him a 5-turn plus 200% to attack and magic, and of course, you know, his limit burst can also give him a buff too, so has a lot of ways of buffing himself for both attack and magic at the same time. Ice resistance adds ice to his attacks, and that's one of the things I like the most about his cooldown ability, is even if you don't get a super TMR, you just have regular weapons, you can add ice, which is his strongest element. And his other cooldown is just an AoE 30-hit ice hybrid attack, which I believe is AR chaining at 5,400%. So yeah, he also has a little bit of true dual hand in his kit too. So I'm a pretty big fan of Kurasame. Kurasame is a really awesome character. He has a great TMR, great super TMR. He's absolutely just a cool looking unit. I think his animations are great. I think his kit is really great for a hybrid unit, and his super TMR has uses outside of himself, especially for all you Fravia fans out there who are looking to extend Fravia's usefulness as long as possible. There's that cool limit burst, and of course there's one big reason that I think you should all get this guy, and that's the reason we're going to exit on. Remember that Tonberry you wanted? Remember that Tonberry 5-star? This guy's got a Tonberry. Oh yeah. Yeah, so I hope this has helped a little bit of why I like these units and why I'm recommending these units. Well, you're recommending or not recommending, definitely it depends, I think, what you need and what you want. But don't overlook this banner just because it's another Type O event. Kurasame is a really awesome character and a awesome hybrid, and I am all for promoting hybrids. Anyway, you guys, that's all for now, and I will see you next time when we take a look at... who am I kidding? It's CG Lightning. It's CG Lightning. See you next time.